Hello YouTube, my name's Sean. I am president and CEO of Absolute Jack Squat, and the only thing I ever founded was my arrow after I missed the deer. I am coming to you now because I've heard a lot of really dumb things over the years about hunting and how it's cheaper to go buy meat in the store than it is to actually harvest meat from an animal. And I wanted to share some things that I've learned over the years on ways you can mitigate the costs on hunting and putting food in your freezer or in your cupboard than buying food in the store. So one of the main things I've learned is learn how to process your deer. If you go hunting, first year I went hunting, I shot 2 deer. The first year I ever shot a deer. I actually went 18 years without ever shooting a deer, but besides the point. First year I shot 2 deer. I spent $12 on a box of bullets. I got the gun in trade for painting a guy's house. And I spent another $25 on the license to go. That's all I spent on that hunting season. My dad had freezer paper, so he spent a little bit of money on the freezer paper. He had a grinder, a hand grinder from when I was a kid, from when they used to hunt. And it was fairly easy, you know. He taught me how to do everything I needed to do. And there's a lot of YouTube videos, how-to videos out there on how to quarter out your deer, how to prepare the meat. So it's stuff that you can learn fairly easily and cheaply. You can put a couple, 100 pounds of meat, depending on how many deer you shoot, and maybe bow season, gun season, a couple 100 pounds of meat in your freezer by doing it yourself. It's super easy. So that first year I spent a max of $38 on hunting, and I had food for my family. So when I hear people say stuff like it's cheaper to buy meat in the store than it is to actually go hunting, those people have never had to skip a meal to feed their kids. Those people have never had to decide on whether or not they're gonna pay the rent for this month or put food in the fridge. So it sucks when you hear stuff like that. It kind of puts people down as far as what they do to feed their family. Another one I really like is, well, if I'm going to buy a gun, I'm going to spend the equal or more amount as the gun costs on an optic. That's ridiculous. You don't need a freaking $500 optic to put on your gun. And all you're doing is you're putting down the people out there that can't afford to do the things that you do. And it makes them feel like crap because, like me, poor hunter, I'm out there to shoot animals and feed my family. I don't shoot what I don't intend to eat. So if you're out there thinking, you can't go out and put food on the table for your kids, you gotta work, you gotta do this or that to be able to feed your family, I'm telling you that you can go out and you can hunt and you can make a decent meal for your family at a very low cost and save that money. Because let me tell you, when I've struggled with making money during the winter months because my job would get slow and I'd get cut hours, I'd go out and I'd put food in the freezer. That was more money that I could actually give my kids a memorable Christmas, or be able to spend money and do the things that I wanted to do. Maybe take my kids on a vacation or whatever. We don't really get to do that much anymore because with inflation and everything else, the only thing we're concentrating on is keeping the freezer stocked, the cupboard stocked. We're trying to put food on the table. And thankfully I never had to learn the lesson of skipping a meal to feed my kids, because I learned the lesson early on in life from my parents and their parents and their parents, that if you do stuff like this, if you go out, you bring home food like they did in the old days, and you know how to store it, you know how to prepare it, you won't have to go through that. I learned that lesson. I took it to heart. And when I was short on money, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do as far as paying bills, what bills we were going to pay this month, what bills we were going to skip, and are we going to register a vehicle or let it go for another month and possibly get pulled over and get a ticket because we need to pay our rent? What are we going to do? So when I learned these lessons about going out and harvesting animals to put food in the freezer, put food in the fridge and on the table, it made me feel good that I could do that. It made my wife happy that she knew I could take care of our family no matter what happened. If we didn't have a lot of money, no matter what, we're never going to go hungry. And so these are the kind of things that I want to share through these videos, talking about every different aspect of hunting, whether it be guns, long-term food storage, ammo, what ammo to use, how to, you need hunting clothes, where to get hunting clothes at a decent price, stuff like that. I want to pass those things along to you guys to be able to save money. That's ultimately what it's about. In the age of inflation we're in right now, with our wonderful government and country and everything like that, I love our country. Government sucks because they always want a piece of what you make, and that just takes away from what you can give to your family and your kids. So, and in my opinion, I think I should stay the heck out of my paycheck, but you got to pay your taxes, you got to elect your officials, you got to do all that stuff. So I want to be able to share all this stuff with you guys so that you can save that money, whatever little bit you can in this age of inflation, and give your kids a good Christmas. Whether just be buying them one thing that they wanted during Christmas. At least if you can put food on the table this way, then you can save that money to buy that one thing, or just buying the essentials. You can't afford freaking toothpaste because you got to put food on the table. Well, guess what? You can go put food on the table. You can buy toothpaste, you can buy deodorant, you can buy your regular toiletries that you need. I mean, in the pandemic, you can freaking go out, shoot a bunch of deer, and you can stock up on toilet paper like no other. So that's my point here, is save money and be able to mitigate those costs of hunting. You don't need to go out and buy the latest thing. You don't need to go out and buy $50 freaking broadheads, because if you buy a $50 or $60 broadhead and you freaking miss, that's quite a bit of money out the door. So just different things that I've seen and done that have worked, and I want to be able to share with you guys. So we'll see you in the next video, and hope all this stuff helps. And if you can, do all the fun YouTube stuff, notification, like, whatever. And next time, still be poor, but I won't be hungry. Have a good day.